This is Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are joined today by Sheila Kuehl. She is a member of the Board of Supervisors in Los Angeles County, which, as you surely have heard, was recently ranked the #1 county in terms of homelessness. It's a very sad statistic. We are now overtaking New York, Chicago, San Diego as the homeless capital of America. What's happening, Supervisor?
Well, I'm certain that you know that we're the #1 county in everything because we're the biggest county in the country.
Right.
So
but
if you look at percentages,
yeah.
It totally makes sense.
Right.
Now, we have 10 million people in LA County, so if we were a state, we'd be the 8th largest
Of course,
state.
about at Michigan.
We have about 44,000 homeless people. So when you know, it's kind of like everybody thinks, well, 1 out of 10 people
Right.
must be homeless.
No.
But it really is 1 out of 200 or every 250.
But even though we do have a large population, 10 million, as you said, even per capita, our numbers are rising. I mean, that's what's so frustrating.
Well, the numbers are rising all over the country, and part of the reason is that we cannot keep up with how quickly people are falling into homelessness. The rising cost of housing, people being laid off, all of the economic policies coming out of Washington have done nothing but cut the help that poor people used to get.
And here's what's baffling to a lot of us. All of this is happening as our economy's improving.
Well, but you look at the wage gap.
Please.
You know, the shrinking middle class, it is a reality. So when economies improve, essentially only people in the top 5% really benefit from it. People who are very, very low income, who are on government benefits, don't benefit from a growing economy because the government is not sharing that. And nothing's gone up.
Let me ask you then about the minimum wage, because I know, for example, the city of Los Angeles passed a minimum wage increase that's being phased in. LA County did as well, but you only have authority over the unincorporated areas.
Right.
And so now the big conversation is, will cities within LA County that are not LA City increase their minimum wage? Or are they going to wait to see if the state increases its minimum wage via ballot initiative in November? The state did that legislatively,
right,
but not at the same level of LA City and unincorporated LA County.
Well, LA City is 40% of LA County. So when the county joined in, we're 10% in the unincorporated areas. That brought it to 50.
Okay.
In my district, Santa Monica is doing it. West Hollywood is doing it. Beverly Hills is voting on it. Malibu is voting on it. I know people think, wow, what a district.
You do have a beautiful district.
But I mean, Pasadena, Long Beach, not in my district.
Right.
These will add to the percentage and add to the percentage.
What about,
so I think it will grow and grow.
But what about, for example, the Antelope Valley? We've heard those cities, Palmdale, Lancaster, Santa Clarita, they don't seem amenable at this stage. Anything could happen. I know they're not in your district.
No, but I think they'll just
pressures.
I think they'll lose workers. I mean, they think that it's a boon somehow not to force their small businesses to pay adequately. But I think what that means is, because people are driving all the time, I'm going to go look for a job that pays me $15, not a job that pays me $10.50 for doing exactly the same thing. Now, we won't get to 15 in the city and the county and various cities until 2020.
Right.
We're going up 50 cents and then $1. You know,
We're getting there.
Gradual.
We're getting there. You talk about driving, and so I must ask you about transportation, because we are driving a lot, as you know, Supervisor. The good news is, right through your district, I live in your district, and actually I don't live in your district, I live right outside of your district, but I'm going to be
I
should, but I'll be the beneficiary of the new Expo line. So we're all very excited about it. Simultaneously, not in your district, the Gold Line recently opened. But that being said, you know, you were in Sacramento for years. Our roads are crumbling, and especially at the local level. I think it's $78 billion worth of local monies needed for local roads, $59 billion for state roads. You know, allegedly we're in special session with your old friends up in Sacramento, but what's happening on that front?
Well, the feds have been very good. We have made great application in LA County through Metro, because Metro is not only about trains and buses, it's also about the roads.
Right.
Now, Caltrans does the state roads, but Metro is in charge of essentially everything that's not in the city or under the county specifically. And, well, you look at the 405, for instance. Everybody complained about how long it took, et cetera, but I'm telling you, it eased the congestion on the 405.
It meaning the
widening the lanes and putting in the high occupancy vehicle lane. And they're doing the same on the southbound side, probably doing the same on the 110 in many places. So I honestly think traffic will lessen, but it will not lessen unless people get out of their cars,
So,
which is why we're doing Expo and the Gold Line. And if Measure R2 passes in November, we will also be building a number of new lines north-south. A lot of our lines have been east-west.
Right, a lot there. We know that we're building these lines, but I understand that ridership is down a bit. People don't seem to be jumping on these lines.
Yeah, do you know why?
No.
People are working at home. People are living closer to where they live.
Okay.
It's not really Metro's fault, like we did something wrong and now they're not getting on our trains. When we look at the percentages of people who are teleworking, it's higher and higher and higher.
Great.
As a matter of fact, we're building work centers so that people can stay on the west side and telework with people in, you know, Hong Kong and New York and Mexico City. It just makes sense.
Let me ask you about Measure R2, as you call it. So, of course, Measure R takes us back to 2008, our own LA County sales tax for transportation. Then Measure J comes in 2012, loses by 0.5%, whatever it is. And so now we're looking to go back, and I guess it would be an extension of Measure R.
Correct.
Are you feeling bullish on it? I mean, it did lose barely 66.16%. You need 60.
I think part of the problem was that we didn't, not we, I wasn't there yet, but they didn't say exactly what it would go for. So if you're enthusiastic about people being able to get from the valley to the west side to the airport, that's part of Measure R2. So if you're excited about people coming down Van Nuys in the eastern part of the valley and being able to get downtown, that's part of Measure R2. So we're going, all of that hasn't been published yet because it has to be voted by the Metro Board very soon, but the list will be part of the measure. And I think people can look and say, oh, that sounds good to me.
And some folks have argued that in 2012, Jay failed because it specifically excluded part of the Gold Line. And so our friends in the San Gabriel Valley were not happy about
but we,
that.
you know, but we did it, and we have more to come.
Right.
In that, the county is so big.
Oh, is it
and
ever?
when people say, you know, I work in Long Beach and I study downtown, and so I take the Blue Line every day. I'm so glad I don't have to take the 110. I want people to just do that publicly.
Can I just tell you, my wife and I, you know us both, we got on the subway, I'll call it, in Culver City, and we went all the way to the Pantages Theater. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. We just parked our car in Culver City. We won't have to do that soon because the expo is going farther. I felt like I was a new man.
Well, people will be able to go from the beach to downtown into the valley. The new Harry Potter ride is going to open at Universal. There's a stop there on the red line. The Purple Line is being built to LACMA, you know, down Wilshire, all the way to the Veterans Administration. It is a very exciting time for LA, kind of back to the future.
I was going to say.
We used to have streetcars and trains, and now we're going to have them again. And it's exciting. It's also so affordable. You know, you think, well, gas is cheaper. I don't care. Talk about paying for parking.
But talk about just the lack of frustration. We just sat on that subway and we just looked at our beautiful city. We got off, literally, and got out of the station. There's the Pantages.
Well, we just hired a new director of all the county libraries, and the center where she works is in Downey, and she's moving from Florida, trying to find a house. And I'm thinking, and she says, I'm the head of the libraries, I don't have time to read. So I listened to books on tape, and I said, hey, take the train. You can read on the train.
Her name is Sheila Kuehl, a member of the Board of Supervisors in LA County. I'm Brad Pomerance. This is Time Warner Cable's Local Edition.